I think they could go right through it. So we'll see.
Well, that's basically Ted Butler's opinion of his interpretation of the Cott report.
Of the what?
The
Cott report, yes.
Yeah, he sees the banks unwinding their short positions based on, obviously, fear of proprietary trading limits coming in and the CFTC's March meeting where they are going to deal with positions in silver and gold.
Well, I don't know about the silver and gold because the CFTC is part of the government and the government's manipulating the market.
Yeah, well.
As far as the proprietary trading positions, if they can't do that, they may as well shut their doors because that's how they screw everybody. I know as a professional trader for 25 years. And so I think what they're going to do is have them move their operations into a subsidiary like a hedge fund, and whatever they propagate in profits or losses will flow back into the company. But they're going to separate it, and that might be the beginning of a return, perhaps, to Glass-Steagall, and that would be wonderful for America.
Arkansas, Texas, Minnesota, Washington, Canada. Everybody, just hang on. We'll get to your calls, and I want to explore this Cott report just a little bit further with Mr. Chapman. We'll be right back.
Tuned in to the National Intel Report, the Real Talk Radio Show.
By the way, did you guys catch Warren Buffett and Hanky Panky Paulson on the Greater Omaha Chamber, where Hank Paulson is telling Buffett the banks are going to repay every penny?
From one crook to another. I mean, I saw that, and it was so disgusting, I turned it off. Warren Buffett's firm, Berkshire Hathaway, last week was found guilty of accounting fraud. Now, they chose, the prosecutor, to go after them civilly, because that's all they want is money today. Warren Buffett should be in jail. They paid a fine of $100 million. Now, this guy is a real beauty. And then you got Paulson. I don't have to tell you what he did as Secretary of the Treasury. He is responsible for the bailout of the whole banking community and brokerage and insurance companies, and everybody get paid. Everybody get paid off. It's an absolute disgrace, and to have them too on CNBC speaks volumes about where that General Electric subsidiary is coming from. And incidentally, there was a revelation in Paulson's new book. He had the temerity to write a book about this. He's only worth $1 billion. And that's not bad for a linebacker with no brains, and who's terrified of congressional interrogations as well, which I thought was funny. No guts, no glory. And he said in there that GE said they were okay. In fact, GE was on the edge of bankruptcy, and that's why they got the TARP money.
Now, the banks, and how many trillions have been loaned to these?
23.7.
$23.7 trillion. So and Bob, a thumbnail sketch here, tell the listening audience how ludicrous that is, because the bank failures are still not, the dust is not settled. How cockamamie is this that they're going to pay back $24 trillion when the juice is running on this? This is not interest-free money, folks. There's interest compounding daily on this.
Well, it's a year and a half this year forward. We could see 1,000 banks go under easy, and that would cost about $500 billion. And FDIC has $93 billion, but has a $500 billion line of credit with the government. But I don't think that the government wants to back the FDIC and use that credit. And that's the word I get from people who I know who go to Fed meetings. And so I would expect that when this money is exhausted, the $93 billion, the game is over for insuring accounts. And as this goes forward and the dollar breaks down during the course of this year, I expect there will be a crisis, not only with the dollar, but a number of other currencies, and there'll be a big meeting, and they'll revalue and devalue and default, and officially we'll have a devaluation. And I think it's coming, and within the next year and a half. And my timing could be off, but America's bankrupt. It's as simple as that, and so aren't many, many other countries. And that is why gold is so important. Silver as well. But it's the only way you're going to retain your wealth. I said to somebody who I know today in the foreign country in which I live, I said, this gold coin will go 5 to 10 times what it's selling for now.
Well, at least we know you're not living in Costa Rica.
Or Alaska.
And why that comment?
Oh, gosh.
Incidentally, it's
Actually,
almost impossible to get coins in Costa Rica.
I had actually pegged you for Costa Rica.
Well, I lived there. Twice. Sure, and Panama and just about every place else.
Were you buddies with the Aden sisters?
No, they're old and portly.
All right, gentlemen, let's get back on track here. Let me go to Larry in Arkansas. Hello, Larry.
Yes, sir. Hey, I wanted to ask Robbie and Bob, now assuming before we go to state banks, because that's what we're going to do. I know it is. Okay, could we nationalize the Fed and then print money and pay off all the Treasury bonds in cash and then bring back the tariff, deflate the dollar, create about 10 million jobs and become the export leader in the world?
Well, I think some of that, yes. First of all, we got to clear Congress, get rid of all these terrible criminals, and hope in a year and a half that we can set things right by doing away with executive orders, the president's group on financial markets, the lobbying, the financing of campaigns, the way it's being done, and all of these things have to be accomplished, and the Fed has to be done away with. We would have to devalue. It's the only way out. We don't know whether there is any gold in Fort Knox that belongs to the United States government, and so we have to assume there's none in the absence of them lying, and so we would have to set up tariffs. It's the only way we can bring business back to America. And every time the dollar goes up, it's detrimental to the American economy because it puts the dollar at too high a level.
Right. That's what I was thinking. If you paid cash, if you took the Treasury bonds out of the picture completely, just paid them off in cash in American dollars, and then that would deflate the American dollar. Therefore, you'd create, especially with the tariffs being raised, you'd create a real competitive export business.
Well, we have to bring the jobs home, and we also have to bring all of the American company profits that are being held in the Cayman Islands. We have to force them to bring them all home and tax them at 35 or 40%. And if they don't like it, they can leave.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Larry.
Well, I thought I might throw a little something in the fire there.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for your call. Okay. Yeah, the value of the dollar, United States dollar, is sitting at 80 almost today. Mr. Chapman, what net effect does that have on exports and imports?
Well, on exports, it makes them more expensive And we don't sell as much because if we're competing, say, with Germany or Switzerland, both currencies have gone down precipitously during this make-believe rally that was engineered by the government and the cartel that works with them. And so it gives Germany and the other countries within the Eurozone, as well as Switzerland, a tremendous advantage in selling products. And so during the period of time that it goes up and comes back down again, we're going to lose business. You just saw the report on the balance of payments deficit. It's worse every month.